Well, hello, hello. This is Kathleen Alckmin live from Eugene, Oregon. For those of you who are new to my channel, thank you for joining me. For those of you that are my ongoing supporters, I want to thank you as well. I assist parents who have lost a child to suicide, and I am so honored to be able to be in that arena, in that environment, so where I can help other people walk through the journey of healing. So I get to walk beside you, and I'm super excited that I get to help you out with that. With that said, I want to also add, first, just thank you for being here. I go live on Mondays every week for Oracle guidance and channel inspiration. And I want to just thank you so much for coming and joining me on a weekly basis. I also want to just say that I have a research project that I am co-leading with a counterpart of mine. I'm in a master's program where I've actually completed my master's, but now there's a research paper that I'm going to be doing with my friend, with my counterpart. And so if you are someone who is lost someone in the last 24 months, then you may qualify to be one of the participants. It's a 6-week program where there's 6 weeks of guidance that will be helping you through on a healing journey. I'm feeling like I'm stuttering a little today. And so the research project is for those who've experienced grief within the last 24 months, and it's to measure changes in the level of grief one experiences over time and how support may affect their grief process. So if you haven't worked with me before and you are interested in participating in this research, it's free. It's 6 weeks, and I'm going to drop a link in the comments so where you can actually fill out the intake form to see if you actually qualify. And if so, we'll be in touch with you. There'll be 20 people max that will be participating, and I look forward. And it starts in May, so I look forward to having you with us. Good morning, Lori. Good morning, Jeanette. So good to see both of you here. Thank you for joining me. So this week, your channeled inspiration is hold yourself with grace and generosity. And how do you hold yourself with grace and generosity, especially when you've lost a child to suicide? It is difficult. It is not easy. It is something that having support is really important. So when you're holding yourself in grace and generosity, it's about filling your cups up. It's about taking care of you. Now, I did mention this in the Grief to Belief Stepping Stones private group. So if you've lost a loved one, a child to suicide, please go ahead and join me on that Grief to Belief Stepping Stones group in Facebook. Good morning, Teresa. And receive the special messages that I give there. It's a little different, and it's a little more detailed and direct to those who have lost a loved one. So holding yourself with grace and generosity is really about allowing yourself to feel the emotions that you're feeling. It's also about recognizing where you are depleted. And when you're depleted, you have less of an ability to be able to function through life. So when you're going through grief, let's just say that you operate in life with 10 units of operation, where you get your emails done, you go to work, you take care of the kids, you do your day-to-day life, and you have 10 units. And within those 10 units, when you're going through grief, grief takes up 8 of the 10 units. So 8 of the units don't change. So your capacity to manage your day-to-day life is limited because you are spending so much time moving through your grief. So as you're moving through your grief and you know that that's happening, it's really important that you fill up the cups that are empty. And those cups that are empty or are depleted are often the self-care. It's often the ability to remember or respond or respond in a timely manner. It's to get out of bed even at times. So filling your cups up prior to trying to do anything else is critical to you this week. So do something that really helps you stay focused on your care, self-care, whether it is actually getting up out of bed and going for a walk or having coffee with a friend or um, jumping in a bathtub that has salt in it or whatever it is. Just make sure this week you're doing self-care and holding yourself with grace and be generous to yourself. Be generous. Allow yourself to be generous to yourself. Oftentimes, we are caregivers and we want to give, 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 but then that depletes us even more because there's nothing left for us. And so you can't, when you give out of responsibility and obligation, people feel that. So there's a bunch of messages that just came through. So I just want to make sure that you hear that holding yourself in grace and generosity is really important, and make sure that you take care of yourself in order to take care of others. And when you give, be generous to yourself and be generous to others when you want to, not because you have to or if you're obligated or responsible to. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and draw 3 oracle cards from the Shaman's deck from Alberto Villoldo and Colette Baron-Reid. And we're going to create a little prescription for you for the week so you have some more information to be able to respond in a healthy way for your week. So please show us what we need. You'd like us to know. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that one popped up. Ooh, spiritual narcolepsy. So this week, be really clear. Well, I'm not going to do the reading yet, but we'll get to that in a moment. But being clear about that you are connected and that you're not alone, that you can make it through whatever challenges that you might be facing right now when you fill your own cup up first. And knowing that your heart, so interesting, this is very similar to a different deck that I just picked for from Grief to Belief Stepping Stones, but knowing that your heart is the divine light, so you are divine light, and knowing that you're connected is really important. So the second, lost in space, needing direction. Oh my gosh, these cards are almost exactly like the cards from Grief to Belief Stepping Stones. Here we go. Deep quiet, meditation and stillness. So this week, Falling Angel, number 19. Sometimes this lighting doesn't work very well with this cards. Number 36, Lost in Space, needing direction. And number 11, deep quiet, meditation and stillness. So again, this week, it feels like it's an emotional roller coaster this week. I know last week seemed pretty emotional, and it's the ups and downs and like the really rough waters for a lot of people. And so this week you might be facing a little bit of that internally. So feeling like you're alone, feeling like you're lost in space, that you aren't connected to anything, but really come back to your stillness within. Go within, fill your cup up. I cannot say this enough for you this week. Fill your own cup up first before you try to assist someone else. Go into meditation, be still, take a bath, put on some quiet music, light a candle, allow yourself to be and feel through the emotions you have, because that will open up space for you to actually see and feel and know that you are never alone. So I hope that you have a wonderful week. I hope these messages find you well. And please be sure to click on the link in the comments if you haven't worked with me before, and see if you qualify for the study that we're doing that's starting in May. All right. Take care. I hope you have a wonderful week.